the Fighters Factory, he'd established a very fine credential as a trainer, a mentor with the Amateur Boxing League. He decided to move into the professional ranks and not just promote, but to put together a total package of great boxing, value entertainment and high caliber fights. Murray, congratulations on another tremendous night of boxing. Murray Thomson.
Okay. Thanks, Melbourne, for the support. I mean, I've been given a lot of help from Peter Hunt, from Total Print, and we're building, I said a long time ago, we're building up a team just to put fights on because we love boxing. And we know there's a lot of people who love boxing too, but no one was putting it on properly. So people are putting on good fights now, and thank you. Thanks for supporting us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call the world champs in the centre ring for a special lucky draw. Would you welcome to centre ring, ladies and gentlemen? He's already been inside the ring. Would you welcome back Dave Russell, the Cruiserweight champion of the world? Would you welcome to centre ring a man who captured the junior middleweight championship of the world against American Tommy Small here at Knox, Craig Trotter. Craig Trotter. Okay, here comes Dave. Would you welcome to centre ring the International Boxing Federation junior lightweight champion of the world, Barry Michael. Barry Michael. Craig Trotter, Barry Michael, and Lester Ellis sent an apology with Lionel Rose. And ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome to centre ring the World Boxing Council featherweight champion of the world, Johnny Famechon. John Famechon. Come on, a standing ovation for Famo. How about 3 cheers for our world champs? Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Now, before we draw the lucky winner of the door prize and Peter Hunt, Barry, how about you be the spokesman for the world champs?
Look, just like to say thank you to Murray and Peter for inviting me here tonight to be part of the commentary team. Fantastic to see boxing, you know, with so much support over this side of town, and fantastic to see such great fights that we've had so far tonight. I'm sure we're going to have a great main event, but it's great to be here with these idols of mine and mates of mine, like Johnny and Dave and Craig Trotter. It's fantastic, and it's a great pleasure certainly to be here next to the great champion Johnny Famechon.
Gentlemen, could you be please upstanding for the Australian National Anthem to be sung unaccompanied by a young lady who transfixed Fort Knox earlier this year, 14 years of age, from the mighty town of Castlemaine. Could I have your attention and quiet and be upstanding, Miss Renee Townsend.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and world for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts, our beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every state advance Australia fair. In joy past the race, then let us sing. Advance Australia fair. Thank you.
Renee Townsend. Our ringside physician, Dr. George Yanko. Your judges for the main event. Ms. Anika Williams, David Wicknell, and John Wheeler. Your referee in charge of the action, Malcolm Bulner. Calling the shots on Sky around Australia, around the world, Stephen J. Peake, Barry Michael, and Scott Brower. Representing the Professional Boxing and Martial Arts Board, Chairman of the board tonight, Acting Chairman, Mr. Bob Todd, Bernard Balmer, and Dr. Simon Hillman. Your timekeeper, Damien Remry. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go with our main event of the evening. Fistic Fury at Fort Knox. Murray Thomson, the Fighters Factory Promotions, proudly present 10 rounds of Cruiserweight Boxing. South Australia, the Crows versus the Big V, Victoria. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome, occupying the red corner, from Elizabeth, South Australia, the home of Jimmy Barnes. Ladies and gentlemen, scaling 82.30 kilograms, he made his professional debut on a great night in Adelaide when Lester Ellis beat Rocky Berg on the most historic night in Australian boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, he's fought the cream of the crop in Australia. Leo Young Jr., Adrian Berlin, Dale Westerman, world title challenger Pierre Karam 3 times. This is his 5th visit to Victoria, with his mentor of many years, Jeff Stumpy Nielsen, in the corner, wearing the traditional blue trunks with white piping. Would you welcome, from South Australia, Jamie Wallace. And ladies and gentlemen, occupying the blue corner, with former TV ringside great Bobby Murdoch, combining business and boxing simultaneously. In amateur boxing, 35 bouts, 4 times Victorian amateur champion. Last December beat South Africa's Rip Van Winkle at Geelong. From the mighty city of Geelong, scaling 84.50 kilograms, ranked in the national rankings, 9 fights, 6 wins. Wearing the traditional Mike Tyson black trunks, Paul Murdoch. Malcolm Bulner, 10 rounds of boxing. Paul Murdoch, Jamie Wallace.
Gentlemen, welcome to center ring. Good luck to both the fighters. May the best man win. Shake hands. Come on, fight number.
Come, Paul, you got the win! Come on!
Here we go.
Here we go now. Yes, we're in business.
Round
We're all in
one.
business. And Paul Murdoch and Jamie Wallace about to get stuck into each other here tonight at Knox City of Murray Thomson Promotions. And what a fantastic night's boxing it's been so far. Murdoch pushes Wallace to the side of the ropes, and did Bob Murdoch give it to his son earlier on from the psychological department just before they started. He really worked him over, gentlemen.
Certainly did. I think this is going to be a certainly a tactical fight, and one that is, one would think, positioned to go the distance. And
yes.
so it's going to be a bit of a war of attrition between these two men.
I'd say so. There's amongst them, there's no big knockout men amongst them in terms of their records as far as knockouts are concerned, and it should be a good boxing match between these two. Wallace in the blue trunks with the white pipings, and of course Paul Murdoch in the all black trunks, as Howard Lee said. How do they look to you, Barry, at the moment?
Yeah, they're both essentially boxer types, as you've more or less said already, but Jamie Wallace has got a heap more experience internationally and locally. Has lost a lot of very dubious close decisions.
Yes.
I really think this is it's a big step up for young Paul Murdoch, who's showing a lot of promise and a lot of ability. You know, to step up against a seasoned veteran, with a quality veteran, mind you, like Jamie Wallace.
Yes, he is.
So look, I reckon this is going to be a real test for young Paul, and I think it's going to end up a very interesting fight.
Good test. I think it's a good test. I think it's the right time for him to step up. But you know, if he's going to prove it, tonight's the night.
Yes, well, I'll tell you what, well, Barry said it all correctly there, and I concur with those remarks that, you know, Wallace is a fantastic seasoned veteran, and he's fought the best. He's had some wars with some top fighters, Pierre Caram and Adrian Berling, and they've been real two-man wars, and this could turn out to be the same situation here tonight. Both boys feeling each other at the moment, Barry.
Jamie's left boot has come undone. Can you believe that? I mean,
yes, already, yeah.
Halfway through the first round, his left boot's come undone, which undoubtedly the corner will fix at the end of the round, but you wouldn't think... I used to tape them together, but you wouldn't think that'd happen in the first round, would you?
Well, he's got
Malcolm's
laces, he's got a lace flapping there, the left boot, and is the right one. The laces are loopy laces, aren't they? And he's getting his corner there. Jeff Stumpy Nelson there, his mentor and trainer, to tie up that lace and
get a bit of tape on it between rounds. And
yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? It's an unnecessary problem, isn't it, that shouldn't occur? They're reasonably look to be top quality boxing boots, those two, Barry.
They do. He might have needed that brag about the 7th or 8th or 9th round. Might have to undo it again.
I thought Jimmy Slater was good with the mouth guard trick. Stumpy's outdone him.
I've got to have a crack at Jimmy Slater about that.
Well, there's been a few lateral thinkers here tonight when it comes to the stalling department. But Jamie Wallace there moving into Murdoch in the corner there, pushed him into the Murdoch corner and threw a right hand into him, I think it was. And now the boys are in a scrimmage, and expert referee Malcolm Bullner is quick to the task there to split those boys up.
Hands held nice and high from Murdoch. He's doesn't really give much of an opportunity as a target. He's very, very good defensively.
Yeah, no, well skilled. Both guys are well skilled. You know their way around a ring. Paul's impressed me from the first time I've ever seen him box. He used to come and box Rod Carr quite a bit.
Yes.
And Jamie, I actually saw Jamie in a fight in New Zealand when I went over there with Rod Carr, and he lost a very close 10-round decision to Mike McCarter, who's I think on Fringe World rated. Copped some bombs. He's got a chin of granite, young Jamie Wallace. So this really shaped up to be a top fight.
All-Star Cafe.
I think that was an even round, but very much a feeling out session. Each having a look at the other. The lace being done up in the corner again. Jamie Wallace.
About that. Notice, isn't it, contrasting in the corner with the Murdoch family. Bob was a very fiery customer and was working on Paul about 2 minutes before they went to get the instructions from the referee and really get into him. And Paul's a very composed individual compared to his dad in those terms, isn't he?
It's his other brother, Guy Murdoch, there, and Guy also a former boxer, so it's very much a family business for them.
Sure is. He's a pretty tough cookie guy too, and he used to give anyone who fought him knew they had a fair night's work in front of him.
Yeah, tell you what, if Paul wasn't in the boxing trunks, you could put him in a business suit, Barry, and he wouldn't look out of place, would he?
He does. He'd scrub up real well, wouldn't he?
He would. And they're waiting for the bell here. Malcolm Bullner gets the boys to move back in, and Wallace, the seasoned veteran there, coming into Murdoch. And the boys again in close. Wallace there for a minute looked like he's going to lose his mouth guard. Murdoch did strike Wallace beautifully there with, I think it was a short right jab into the jaw.
He did, but then ran backwards.
Yes.
And unnecessarily, I think. He could have...
Didn't follow up with it.
Yeah, could have pressed home the advantage.
Now that...
Very good sportsmanship there. Wallace could have clocked him on the back of the head, but chose not to.
Yeah, interesting point that.
Wallace is making the fight at this stage, really.
Yep, he is pushing
doing the walking up. And
He's the aggressor, isn't he?
Yep. He's been proficient at that, Wallace, over his career. He's always been the one to force the issue. Never takes a backward step.
Yeah, Murdoch landed a good body punch. At the same time, Wallace landed a good left hook right in the chin.
And that left hook actually shook him a little bit, I think.
Yeah,
Don't you think, Scott?
Paul's on the defensive a bit here at the moment.
Yeah, I think he was a bit surprised by the power of the left hook, actually, that Wallace landed.
Well, you know yourself, you can, in the early rounds, your nervous system before it's warmed up, you can be shaken by a punch that's relatively light compared to what you cop later in the fight and take.
Once the body warms up.
Yeah.
Absorb more punishment. Well, Paul Murdoch at the moment probably a little bit on the defensive, do you think? Hasn't quite taken up the attacking manoeuvres of Wallace.
Nice left hook from Murdoch.
Certainly a good try. If that had landed, it might have been an early night.
Yeah. Here's now Wallace trying to command the situation from ring centre there, and he's got Wallace in a headlock, but no need for Malcolm Bullen to get in.
Yeah, Wallace is dictating. He's fighting when he wants to fight.
Yes.
Moves in when he wants to move in, moves out when he wants to move out. Murdoch's hasn't got any ascendancy at this stage.
No, he's happy to sort of sit back and suss the situation out, I guess.
He's almost a passenger in this.
And that now Wallace has Murdoch on the ropes there. There's not much action happening there, or they're getting into a tangle, but Wallace goes back. But it's been the pattern a bit of Paul Murdoch's boxing a little bit. Probably he's had the 9 professional fights, but perhaps could become more attacking.
I think he's still probably a little bit nervous just having a look, because he knows that Jamie Wallace has a lot more experience than what he does.
Yep.
He's just looking at what Jamie's got to offer, where the punches are coming from, seeing the angles, seeing where the shots are flowing from.
Yep, could be right. And perhaps these are the instructions his father, mentor, trainer, has been handing out to him to ease into the fight.
No, I don't think so. Not looking at the way Bob's in the corner yelling at him. I think that's the opposite to what he's been told to do.
Bob always looks angry to me, so at any time of the fight, whether you're on top or behind.
It'd be pretty stressful, I think, being in the corner with your son, with your son out there. I certainly wouldn't like to be
I wouldn't
position.
fancy it, I don't think.
Going to be tough on Big Bob Murdoch there, and the stress has been no occasionally to get to him. But Jamie Wallace there. Murdoch threw a good left hand there that had Wallace wincing, but no damage done. Pretty interesting round. You think fairly even? Yeah, I actually would agree with you. I think Wallace may have just got home there.
To Wallace, I think he just did a little bit more work and landed
it's a line ball.
dictated it.
Yeah.
But
he was
pressing the fight.
Yeah, maybe.
Jamie Wallace is here. He means business here tonight. He always means business, but
I'll tell you what, I've seen him take some incredible shots. He's got a good chin.
Yep.
He's got a heart like a lion. His body doesn't look incredibly toned, but he's always fit enough to fight 10 hard rounds, 3-minute rounds, so he's credit to himself.
Yeah, he's got stamina and staying power, Barry. Yep. About that.
And he can box too, he can box.
It's really like he's got strong arms, strong legs. I mean, it's just got it's just for some reason his midriff seems to carry a little bit, almost puppy fat, isn't it?
It is sort of, yeah.
Maybe
but he's always
struggles to get rid of that. But if he was a racehorse, it'd be a Melbourne Cup stamina staying performer, wouldn't he, Jamie Wallace? He seems to give the impression he could go all night.
I bet he was disappointed when they got rid of 15-rounders, because they probably would have suited him.
Yeah, they would have. It may have changed his score log somewhat, you would think. And they're in a tangle again. The boys hanging on to each other there and trying to hit in close. And Malcolm Bullen has moved in now and had a word to them too, Barry.
Yeah, a bit of a scrubby-looking fight there at times. Let's hope it doesn't sort of, get to be
a wrestling performance.
The majority of it like that, but that was a bit cleaner.
It certainly shouldn't. I mean,
gee whiz, did Wallace
jumped him with a big left hook.
If that had have landed, that could have caused some damage, Barry.
Yep, sure could have, Steve.
If Paul's going to win this fight, he has to get behind his left hand. He can't sit there at close quarters, because that scrappy sort of fight is going to suit Wallace more than it suits.
It will too, and it's just going to make a bad spectacle of the whole thing. Hard to judge. Yes. You're right. He needs to get Jamie on the end of his left hand if he can.
He's not throwing. There is a spot for it, and he's not throwing it.
Yep.
Then again, Wallace might be happy to turn into a scrap vest, I suppose.
Well, he certainly would be, but from Murdoch's perspective, he has to get that jab working. Yeah. It has to be fast. It has to be accurate.
I think I remember Jamie Meyer tried to do that with Murdoch down at Werribee a couple of years ago and just kept trying to tie Paul up. And perhaps Wallace has seen that video. Oh, great punch from Murdoch. His first really good one for the night, flush on the jaw of Wallace, and did send Wallace just back somewhat.
Well, these are big boys. They're not, they're certainly not light at 82 and 84 kilos respectively.
Oh, yes, and Murdoch again with the left hand found the mark. He's starting to find his range now, which is good.
Murdoch should be the stronger of the two. I mean, he's physically quite a bit bigger and got a couple of kilos on him.
Yeah.
And he needs to use that strength that he's got. But Jamie working away like a terrier at the moment.
He certainly is. It's his style, and Murdoch just needs to get out of these tangles, just keep that reach advantage that he's got, well, certainly with that jab, and see if he can keep scoring like he just showed us. It's a compact boy when he gets going into a rhythm, Murdoch. He needs to find that rhythm to show us what he can do.
Yeah, that's the experience of Wallace, though. Wallace is not letting him get a rhythm. He's throwing unorthodox punches. He'll throw a lead right hand. He'll change his distance.
Yep.
He'll throw a left jab from 10 feet away, and then next thing he'll be standing 2 feet away.
Yep.
He's
That's
able to
on.
change that distance.
I also noticed that when Wallace went to the ground on the knees or whatever, he did not once take his eyes off where Paul Murdoch was then, even when he was getting up. That's a sign of a fairly proficient individual, isn't it?
It's the old story, keep your hands up at all times.
And your eyes on your opponent.
Yeah, exactly.
Good punches from both guys there. Jamie Wallace just marginally outscoring him at this stage, I think.
Yep, that would appear to be the case. But I tell you what, a great matchup made by Murray Thomson.
Yeah, excellent matchup. Geez, again, not much in that round, but really couldn't go against Wallace.
Couldn't go against Wallace. It's either an even round or it's going to go to Wallace, one or the other, probably. I mean, Murdoch did do his best punches in that round, didn't he?
Yeah, if you had to pick a winner, I'd probably pick Wallace as the round winner. But
yeah, I think so.
Toss a coin, really.
They nearly had a bet each way there.
All those great corporate sponsors in your official program for Peter Hunt of ID Concepts Graphic Design. Seconds out, round 4.
Interesting to see that Jamie Wallace is another fighter that chooses not to sit down in between rounds.
Yeah, well, it's the second one tonight, so that's another interesting decision there. He had some quiet words to his mentor and stood up the whole time. Now, Wallace threw the big right hand, which missed, and Murdoch, I think, caught
Very
Wallace
good
in
body
the
shot.
plexus with a body punch, which was a nice scoring punch from him, and Murdoch just pokes out the jab and moves backwards as Wallace charges in.
There's Murdoch's jab. That's what he's got to use all night.
Yep, that's the punch. And he needs to just use it more now, doesn't he? He needs to get himself into range and move it more. But Wallace is going to keep tying him up. Don't worry about that. He's
with the way Murdoch fights, he needs his jab to be working for everything else to flow from it. Without his jab working, it's very difficult for him to get any momentum happening at all.
He's probably got to hope that Wallace, with this rushing motion, has got to let him try and wear himself out a bit doing that. And
but he won't.
Just keep going.
Wallace will just keep going at whatever pace you set. He'll do it for the full 10 rounds.
Well, maybe Murdoch needs to up the tempo to test him out in that stamina issue. Well, now the lights nearly failed here for a minute there, but
that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Make it hard for us all. We don't want to black out, that's for sure. But now Wallace moving back in, and a good punch thrown there, and that's scrimmage.
Tell you what, this is going to be a hard fight to score, I reckon.
It's going to be very hard.
Because it's very close, and a lot of these rounds could go either way.
Yep. A lot of tying up going on in close too with the arms, and the boys tying each other regularly there and trying to fight with one punch style. It's very hard. Murdoch now trying to back Wallace into the ropes to line up that jab, and oh yes, flush on the jaw. Beautifully done. Wallace comes back and clips him on the way through as Paul tried to move away, Paul Murdoch. And the other left hand, that uppercut, that's the second time he's missed with that uppercut tonight.
Good evasive skills from Murdoch.
Yep, saw it coming.
Good doing that.
Got good lateral vision, Paul Murdoch.
So he's seeing the punches a lot clearer now than he was earlier, and is now being far more aggressive in his own right.
Oh, beautiful to watch. And he's probably looking. Oh, Wallace came with a combination there. Some of that got through. Gloves probably took most of it, you think, Scotty, or did some of that get through?
Better jab from Paul Murdoch too. He's got to get that jab working.
Yeah, well, no doubt about that. That's his scoring punch.
He can't be second. He can't can't wait. Like he's
I still reckon Jamie Wallace is winning this round. He's just working too much.
He's working out of the body, and he's pushed Murdoch into that corner there, and more scoring punch, trying to hang on to the ropes there, Wallace, with the left hand as he was punching, but trying to work his way, and he's trying to get Murdoch's gloves away from the midsection so he can start a pummeling session on it.
just cagey, gets spun in the corner, but then grabs hold. Just knows
He's
all
a
the tricks.
scrappy fighter at Thomson. Jamie Wallace, a real points scrounger he is. And Murdoch with a nice slapping left hand motion.
Yeah, a bit too wound up, I think, that hook.
Yeah. And there goes the bell. Boys showing respect there, walk past each other. And I think that might have been a Wallace round, but...
yeah, I'd score it even. I thought Murdoch had the ascendancy early and then Wallace had it at the end. So
it's very hard to score. I mean, there's a couple of rounds now that could have gone either way or gone even.
I think Jamie's actually frustrating Paul. He's...
oh, definitely.
Yeah, he's tying him up in close and hitting him with little shots. And, you know, the way I look at it at the moment, it's going to be an uphill battle for young Paul Murdoch.
He's being outfoxed.
He's been outfoxed, yeah.
No doubt about that. Well, he's playing straight into Jamie Wallace. Wallace is being able to tie him up. That's the thing. And he's restricting because he's a bit stronger than Jamie Meyer. Jamie Meyer had trouble doing it all night at Werribee 18 months ago, but Wallace has got, he's a bit more physically stronger than Meyer.
He certainly seems to be. The other thing is, I think the corner has to really just get into Murdoch's head that he's got to use his jab, he's got to be first, he can't wait, he's got to be the one that takes it up. He's got to step forward, not back, and come in behind his jab.
Yes. Hold his ground and try and that
well,
I suppose...
He's letting Jamie get one step too close.
As soon as the bell goes, Wallace is up there on top of him, and Paul immediately goes on the back foot. There's just half a step, just as Jamie goes to lift his foot to come in, there's a position there that Paul can land his jab.
He's got to find a way where he can just stay in that reach distance and try and keep Wallace off the top of him coming in like that, but it's going to be difficult because Wallace is just attacking the whole time.
Yeah, if you actually watch it, you can almost pick the spot perfectly. It's just when they're at distance, there's a point, they come and they both know they're out of distance, and it's Jamie that takes the step that makes up the distance.
Gets up there and starts working away.
And Paul should be able to jab him just as he takes that step.
Well, here comes Bobby Murdoch now. He's starting to scream instructions at his protege there.
Well, if the fight starts to slip away, which, you know, I think it sort of is at the moment, he might get quite upset.
He's getting upset, all right.
He's got a very animated face, hasn't he, Murdoch?
He certainly has. And,
Bobby Murdoch, that is.
Getting good use out of the ring himself there. He whacks it occasionally. And
nice little uppercut there from Paul Murdoch in close.
Well, the boys tying each other up again. Wallace moves back. Paul waits in the middle of the ring for him to come at him, and now flays away at the body. Some body punches. Bob Murdoch now screaming at Paul to come in when Murdoch was backing away to the blue corner. But he didn't do it.
He's not doing enough.
And no doubt Bob Murdoch won't be happy.
See, you know, Jamie comes in and throws 4 or 5, and Paul throws 2.
Yeah, it's a difference, isn't it?
Yep, he's a very busy man.
That was better. That was good.
There it is.
That was a good body shot.
Well, he's got to go on the attack more. He's just got to become more aggressive. Maybe it's a confidence thing. He should be confident enough. He's got a good score log at this point of his career.
He should know now. I mean, he's had enough time to settle in this fight to know that what Jamie's got. And I think we've seen that he's not going to hurt Murdoch.
No, that's right.
So Murdoch's got to take a bit of a chance, work throw punches and bunches.
He does, yes, that's exactly, you're right. And to come in hard, use his reach.
Doesn't have to be anything tricky, just straight left, right, left.
Yep.
3 punches.
Keep working away. Try and avoid this situation with the tangles taking place and getting tied up.
I think Jamie's actually got long arms. I think he's got deceptively long arms.
Jamie Wallace, yeah.
He has got long arms. He's very strong in the lower torso region as well on the back, so he's got that, he can anchor himself pretty hard too when he comes in lean on someone.
Good right counter, good punches from Paul Murdoch there, but, you know, Jamie Wallace throwing twice as many.
That's the problem. It's a constant problem, mate.
I think there was another Wallace round. He would throw 3, 4, 5 punch combinations and get hit once or twice back.
Yep. No doubt about that.
Yeah, he's pinching each round by doing that a little bit more.
Yeah, no doubt.
Very, very calm too in Wallace's corner.
Well, they are. It's a small team, but they look relaxed, don't they? Yeah.
Oh, extremely. There's no panic. It's just, you know, nothing irate, just very calm. This is what you got to do. This is how to do it. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, they've sent a few miles together, those two.
Oh, yes. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They've been real journeymen.
Malcolm Borner's doing a good job because this fight has had a number of close fights, close scrimmages going on, and Malcolm's been able to break them up.
Yeah, Malcolm's on the ball there. He's right on the ball tonight, Malcolm. He's doing a great job.
Have a look at Malcolm. He looks fit enough to make a comeback himself.
He does,
yeah.
He's a pretty good middleweight in his day, I think.
Yes.
Excellent referee.
Yeah, no, he is.
Top referee, Malcolm Borner. Yes, that's the best. Yeah, Paul Murdoch now trying to work out a way of trying to break through Wallace's defences there at the moment. Gee whiz, the fight sort of dropped back a pace at the moment, hasn't it?
Wallace on the back foot at this stage of this round, which is a bit of a change.
Yeah. Murdoch just brushing away the
good
back
jab
of his
from
head.
Murdoch.
Yeah, but I think that Wallace has chosen to go on the back foot. Like he's just done it to mix the fight up.
Yeah, I think he has.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll just change. Just
Oh,
in case.
he came in hard.
Nice right hand. Just in case you're getting used to what I was doing, I'll change what I'm doing.
Now he's a cagey customer, isn't he? Well, he's learned a lot in his travels, Jamie Wallace, because well, he's had over 35 professional bouts, so he's right up there with them now.
He's fought some top world-class fighters too, and gone the distance with them and pushed them very close.
And mixed it with the best.
Yep.
He's fought the hard man like Adrian Berlin with his big punching power, and a mover and shaker like Pierre Caram.
And what about John McGarvey?
And Johnny McGarvey, yes.
Don't get much bigger puncher than that man.
The beast.
Just about take on anybody in his division, Jamie Wallace.
Yeah, he's changed the whole concept of the fight this round, Jamie Wallace.
Has he ever? He's moving very well.
Yeah.
I don't think it's certainly not as effective for him. But,
probably not, but you get the feeling that, well, really this round there's been a lot less punches thrown at the boys throwing at each other.
Better round for Murdoch. He's landed some good shots this round.
Yep.
Oh, that's a nice left hook.
Beautiful left hook, that one. Fantastic shot. The Wallace comes in, tries to work at the solar plexus, but it just bounced off the elbows of Murdoch. Murdoch over the top of the right hand.
Wallace has actually let him in this round. He's given him the confidence.
Yeah, now, I wonder why. I mean, you know, was it advice from the corner man to go out and box, or just his own?
Is it his round off? Is it a fight style?
Yeah, you got a feeling that maybe this is the middle round, round 6, have a rest.
1 off, 4 on, or something like that.
Yep.
So.
Well, definitely the fights changed this round, and Murdoch's winning this round, and you know, landing some better punches.
Yeah, nice jab to the body.
Just grabs there, grants the solar plexus.
Right hand to the body.
And it's allowing Murdoch his distance and allowing him therefore to score, isn't it? The tactics of Wallace.
3 punches again from Wallace. First 2 missed, third punch landed.
There goes the bell. Well,
I think that was certainly a Murdoch.
Yep, for sure.
Murdoch round. Be interesting to see if Wallace keeps up those tactics of moving backwards.
I'd be surprised if he does.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he does as well. Certainly wasn't anywhere near as effective for him.
No,
He lost
not
the
at
round.
all.
I think we'll see a very different Jamie Wallace this round. I think Scotty's prediction's right. 5 on, was it 1 arrest
off.
and then 4 back into business.
But that could have given young Paul Murdoch a bit of confidence. He did land some good shots at that round. He needs to keep that tempo up, try and keep Jamie on the back foot if he can, or at least keep him on the end of his commanding left jab.
Yep.
And often with a young fighter like Murdoch, that's all it takes is just that 1 round to get the confidence up, and they can just keep
come back,
keep steamrolling.
Yep,
They
you're
keep
right,
rolling
true.
forward.
Yeah, that's true, Scott.
Yep, magnificent.
Confidence is such a big thing in a fight, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it?
It is. Well, you start to feel that maybe Wallace is so confident that he's going to win this fight that he could afford to take that rest and give Murdoch the chance of getting back in with a round win to Murdoch. Oh, Murdoch coming in hard there, but the punch was virtually blocked by Wallace. They're tangling up again. Wallace trying to throw leather. He keeps throwing leather even when he's tied up. Wallace in bunches.
He looks so relaxed, doesn't he, Wallace? Any more laid back and he'd fall over.
Oh, yeah. That's right. And that Murdoch, he's just got to keep, well, as Barry, you said before, he's got to up the tempo, doesn't he, as well as, getting his reach sorted out and all the rest of it, but up the tempo of the fight.
Yeah,
At this point, 4 rounds to go, he's got to motor on to get himself into 3rd or 4th gear and get ready to rumble with Jamie Wallace.
Well, this round's very important, vitally important for Paul Murdoch. I think he's, had won the last round. He's got to continue from there, and if he doesn't, he's going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Well, he's fit enough and strong enough. It's whether he's good enough and he wants it enough, he's just got to up the tempo.
Good defensive work from Paul there. Jamie Wallace trying some pretty unique uppercuts there.
Yes.
Little short hook.
He's got a real mixed bag, Jamie Wallace, hasn't he?
Yeah, but you can see this round, Jamie Wallace is not on the back moves dancing. No. He's back into the in-close fighting.
There he is again. That's what's winning him. That's winning the fight for him. Those little combinations up close.
Yep. And he's being able to avoid some of the stuff that Murdoch's throwing back at him from there too.
They're just pitter-pat punches. They're not power, but they're scoring.
Yep. Gets in again, then tangles up. Gets that first punch in coming in, doesn't he, Jamie Wallace?
He gets the first and the last.
Yes. He's working away again. They're giving Murdoch a clip over the ear hole as well.
I tell you, this round's, I reckon it's pretty even, really. There's
nothing in this.
Nothing in this round.
It's up for grabs. Whoever wants this round more,
the last
we'll get this one.
Last minute of it.
Last 30 seconds or so, hey?
The boys, again, Wallace coming in, gets the left hand in. Murdoch bends down, and Wallace moves back. Oh, combinations from Wallace again, some scoring punches, and Murdoch tries to follow up. He missed with a body shot, and over the top of the right hand.
Nice right hand there from Murdoch. That might be enough to give him the round, actually.
Yeah, or a little chop on the chin as well. He gave Wallace then to go on with it. And Wallace comes in hard, but Murdoch had his gloves up.
Hard round to call this.
Oh, very hard. And then, nice one on the button by Murdoch.
Wallace looks tired.
Wallace, the body. A little bit, maybe, leaning on the ropes, but he's so deceptive. You wouldn't know with him half the time if he was foxing or if he was fair dinkum about his stamina situation. He may be foxing.
Although he is breathing with his mouth open a lot now, Jamie Wallace.
Yeah, it's a little bit more taken out of him.
I think it was Murdoch's round.
Yeah, we'll go for that. We'll give it a call. Certainly wasn't a lot in it. Could have been an even round, but maybe Paul just pinched it with that good right hand.
Good right hand, couple of good jabs.
Starting to even things up a bit, you know.
Oh, he's got a way to go yet.
Well, we've only got 3 rounds remaining, so he's got to continue to pull those. Pull those rounds out.
Well, he's got to win them, hasn't he? And if he wins them, it's about even.
Yeah, actually, I've got it pretty close to even now, depending on. Actually, no, but I got.
No, you must have.
I got Wallace in front.
You'd have Wallace in front.
Yeah, Wallace in front, but only just. A couple of rounds. I got him 2 rounds up, 68-66. So
yeah, so Paul's got to win the 3.
Win these 3 rounds.
He's got to win the 3, otherwise it is anyone's fight.
Yeah, some of the rounds could have gone either way too.
They could have.
Very hard to judge.
They've been hard to judge. So what we're saying here, viewers, is
that we've got no idea.
It's not set in concrete.
Not at all. Or in stone. Well, Murdoch there chopping away there at the facial regions of Wallace. Just fairly soft punches, but scoring. And Wallace gives him a nice little slap on the ear hole there. Wallace moving back again, but Murdoch's got to push this now. He's got to get some big momentum going here for himself. He's got at that stage in his career, he just needs to try and find himself going up to the next level now, Paul Murdoch.
Oh, it's been a good test. I think he's certainly shown that he's of equal ability.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
And,
yep.
But what he's got to improve now is his work rate and the number of punches that he lands.
You think he may need to throw a bit of caution to the wind and go on the attack just a fraction although, Scotty, to push the issue?
Well, I do think he has to increase his work rate.
Yeah, he's definitely got to throw more punches.
Yep.
That was,
Oh.
that was good.
That was very
That was very good, yeah.
I was listening to us now, and there was a nice combination in there that landed on Wallace. See him back a step or two. He's still in there scrapping though, Jamie Wallace, isn't he? He's just constantly at Paul Murdoch every opportunity he gets.
Murdoch looking more poised this round than me, though.
Yeah.
You know, he's... maybe Jamie's feeling the pressure a little bit.
Well, I think that the confidence of winning the last couple of rounds is starting to show through now for Murdoch. He knows that he can win rounds.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that I think with Paul Murdoch is that if he looks at himself and says, well, I am good enough and I can go the next step, it maybe is a confidence thing. So plenty of room there for him to improve. Wallace now scrapping in the corner there, in his own corner, and big uppercut on Murdoch. Sent the sweat flying in the corner.
One back for his trouble, though.
Oh, yes. And another nice slap
hook
from Murdoch. Left hook there on the side of Wallace's face. Got him into the Wallace corner, now pushed out. Malcolm Bullner moves in to separate them, and that was a very interesting exchange between the two boys. Wallace, of course, in the blue trunks with white piping, and, of course, Paul Murdoch in the all black.
You get the impression Wallace just really enjoys being out there, don't you? Like
He does, oh, yes.
Seems to be just enjoying himself. It's just like a day at the office for him.
Yeah, it is. He's
exactly.
a boxing man who loves his boxing, James Wallace. And as we said before, just about take on anyone in his division, he'll have a scrap.
It doesn't matter if they're a big puncher, if they're a nice boxer. It doesn't matter. He'll take all comers.
But it's great to see in boxing. He doesn't try and pick and choose. He just goes after all of them. And now Murdoch comes in. He's got Wallace on the ropes. He did hit him with some nice shots. And the boys grab it into that round.
Another round for Paul Murdoch.
Another Murdoch round.
So this is starting to get a little bit dangerous now for Wallace.
Yeah, these last couple of rounds, it's all coming down to this.
You know, we've got a point in it so far.
Yeah,
so,
he's a point in front, yeah.
Well,
we've got Jamie Wallace a point in front, haven't we?
I mean, the two rounds that are going to be interesting are the third and the fourth, which, were very close.
I wonder how the cornermen are reading this fight, what they're telling their guys at the moment.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
I think, both corners would be saying, look, this fight's close, you've got to win these two rounds.
You've got to pull these rounds out. You've got to be busy.
Up for grabs, Barry.
Yep, get out there and do it.
I think Paul Murdoch's got a welt underneath his left eye there. His father was just giving a bit of Vaseline on there. A bit of bruising coming up. Wallace there with a left looping left hook there that over around the top and struck Wallace.
Yeah, Murdoch doesn't want to go silly. He doesn't want to start throwing big bombs. I think he's better off sticking to his boxing, but just doing more of it.
Yep, that's him just increase the work rate.
Yeah, the work rate's the...
get the machine into action. The production line. Production line of punches. And Wallace came in with a punch, but I think he glanced Murdoch with the forearm coming through then.
It'd be nice to see, I think, Murdoch a little bit faster feet. If he just, as he steps forward, if he a little bit quicker on the front foot, he'd be quicker with the jab.
Yep.
Yes.
He seems to
snap it out.
place the foot down rather than really stamp and get the speed happening.
Yep, Wallace now again hangs on, throws the left hand and hangs on with the right.
Easy for me to say. I haven't just done 8 rounds, have I?
It's always easy to say when you're sitting outside commentating.
Is it ever?
Oh, good overhand.
Nice right hand.
Murdoch. Oh, crunching right hand. That's a great punch.
Knees. That was a ripper of a right. Best punch of the fight, that one.
Yeah, ripper punch there. It's no doubt about it. He's got the class. He's got a bit of class in there, Paul Murdoch.
Yeah,
and that's when it comes out.
Confidence is right up now compared to what it was earlier in the fight.
Oh, yes. Fighting very well now, Paul Murdoch. It was a beautiful right hand from him, and let's hope he can go on with it here. Wallace is moving around, going back, waiting for Murdoch now probably to make the first move. Although Wallace did come in with a combination. I think it was only a cameo appearance then from Jamie with those punches.
I'll tell you what, if I was in Jamie's corner, fighting away from home, I'd be telling him to go flat tap.
Yeah.
You got it.
Just keep punching, get out there and work.
Because you know now that it's close. There's nothing in it. You've got to...
It's a work rate situation for both of them, isn't it, really?
Nice punching there from Murdoch.
Yeah, Paul's certainly boxed better the second part of the fight. put his punches together
Found
pretty
his,
well.
found his
Shown
position,
excellent,
his mark.
excellent fitness level too. Like this,
Yeah, he's not breathing out at
he's
all.
been able, he is now starting to increase that work rate. And we're in the 9th round.
No doubt about that. Bounces back on the ropes, Paul Murdoch, but the boys they're concentrating hard, but they do need to, probably both boys now need to increase the work rate with the result dubiously up in the air there.
Oh, is it ever? There's not much at all in this round.
Oh, not at all.
So, mate, the
Very
judges earn their money, won't it?
Oh,
Well,
making us sweat.
you could see, like three totally different scores from three sides of the ring here.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, that's
A
right.
fight like this.
Not about that at all. And Wallace, was that a body punch? I think that made its way through there. Solar plexus of Murdoch.
He tried an uppercut, I think, but was
You
sort
know,
of
cramped.
smothered.
Yeah.
And now that again getting themselves into a wrestle, and Malcolm Bullman splits them up. Murdoch tries to get that. Wallace comes in hard, pushing Murdoch as well into his corner. There goes the bell for the end of round 9. And
Malcolm Borner's round, I reckon.
Yeah.
it's pretty even, I'd say.
Call that even, yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to call that one even.
The boys are going to go in the last round when we think probably maybe Wallace a point up, and it's going to be an interesting last round, is it ever?
I reckon
Yeah.
whoever wins the last round has got a chance to win the fight.
Got a chance
or it's a draw. I mean, it could go either way then, couldn't it? Toss a coin.
Toss of the coin situation, no doubt. The Murdoch family.
He got it.
Well, as we expected, we'd see this fight go into its 10th round, 10th and final round.
We got that part right.
We got that one right.
Yeah.
No doubt about that, and both boys there.
I knew if we taught long enough, we'd get something right.
Sorry.
I knew if we taught long enough, we'd get something right.
Exactly.
Yeah, the averages.
All right, well, here we go. 10th and final round of this magnificent promotion here tonight at Knoxfield Netball Centre in Knoxfield, Victoria. Murray Thomson Promotions. Jamie Wallace in the blue trunks, white piping, and Paul Murdoch in the black. A big fight here at stake. Probably coming down to the wire here. So the last round is very even. And both boys now need to increase the work rate to see if they can overcome their opponent. It's pretty even here.
Well, the fight's on the line. Whoever digs the deepest, pulls it out here, has got a chance of walking away with the fight.
Yep, no doubt about that. Wallace comes in low and strikes Murdoch with a punch to solar plexus, but it wasn't hard.
It got to work.
And both boys have to work.
Got to work.
They just have to work this round.
That's
Both boys
great
coming in,
work from Jamie Wallace.
And good work from him, but also the defensive work of Murdoch. He got the gloves up quick enough there too to protect his face.
Yeah, he defends well, Paul. He doesn't get hit with a lot of clean shots.
No. It was well done. Beautifully defended, if you could say that. Oh, Wallace ran in with that uppercut there, tried to force it with his body, didn't he? Have some more effect, and now into a tangle with Paul Murdoch.
Punch and grab.
Punch and grab, yes. It's a bit like what it is maybe with Jamie a lot of the time. Oh, slapping punches, but I think a couple of them land the elbow, but he's pushed Wallace into the corner. Wallace defending, neutral corner at the far side of the ring. Malcolm Balder now moving in, giving them a shove aside, and Dor told Paul Murdoch, keep your eye on that forearm. I didn't see him do anything with it, but told him to watch it anyway.
Just in case he was thinking about it.
How are we scoring this round, fellas?
Oh, gee whiz, it's pretty even,
Scrappy,
Barry.
I think Jamie's probably done the better work.
Pretty even. I mean,
He's certainly trying hard.
Jamie maybe. Harry's grappling and scrounging his punches through, but gee whiz, Murdoch's got a couple in, but
Both boys are digging
maybe
very
Wallace.
deep.
Wallace is
Nice jab
probably
there from
doing the
Murdoch.
attacking part of it, but Murdoch hasn't shirked the issue. He's right in there.
It has to be. You can't. You're in the 10th round. You can't step back now.
Oh, not at all. Looking for an opportunity now. It's going to turn into a tough final round. It could be a toe-to-toe. I mean, if it turns into that, you've got to do it. You're not going to keep... Oh, beautiful uppercut from Murdoch. Had the Wallace head jerking backwards.
Nice
Just
uppercut.
lovely stuff. And that was a nice punch.
Nice. That was
Nice
nice
right
from
hand
Jamie
from
Wallace.
Wallace, yeah.
Yeah, and another good one there from him. So
Been a
It
great
was-
seesawing battle, really, hasn't
it
it?
has. It has been fantastic. You've had to concentrate hard to try and work out exactly who was ahead of each round because they're so close.
I'm
at
tired
times.
just watching him.
We're going to sleep well tonight too, I reckon. Now Murdoch in again with the left hand, and Wallace back again. Comes in with the left again, misses. Murdoch trying to work over. Wallace is really scrapping. He's really fighting this out. Murdoch's trying to go with him, but gee whiz, you get the feeling that Wallace may be.
Tough battle. Look, I think that Wallace probably took that last round, and by virtue of that would probably pinch the fight.
Yeah,
I'd say so.
But
look,
I think it's
anybody's fight, to be honest. But
yeah,
the way we've scored it, maybe Jamie just pinched it with his extra work right there.
Maybe
if it goes the other way, you certainly couldn't complain.
Yeah.
It'll give the judges plenty to think about.
When you're out of town, you're out of town.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Well, the Victorian judges have been very good in the past.
Now our judges are very impartial. They are. I think, to be honest with you, when you come to Australia, you do get a fair deal. I mean, I've been robbed in a few countries, travelling the world, and seen some pretty grim things. But
some shocking things.
We do look after our imports very well, I reckon.
No, it's a good job, and that's what you hope from the sport, to be fair and reasonable at all times, Barry. No doubt about that. Beautiful trophy available to the winner here too, I might say.
This will be interesting to see what the judges, how the three judges have scored. This will be very interesting.
Yes, we'll have to make a note of that, I think.
Well, as you said earlier, Barry, they could see it three completely different ways.
They certainly could. A draw wouldn't be a bad decision, you know.
No, draw. I would imagine in a rematch, I think that Murdoch would do a lot better. I think the confidence of having been through this, he will probably grow more and improve more than what Jamie Wallace will.
Jamie's been to the well a lot of times against top quality opponents, and that's probably what Paul needed, really.
Well, Jamie's never going to fight any other style, is he, really? That's what we've seen here tonight, whereas Paul's got potential and room for probably more improvement if you could look at it from that point of view.
Neither boy looks confident.
No.
No, they don't, do they?
I can understand it. I mean, you know, you feel pretty frustrated, I think.
I think you would. And that great sportsmanship from the two boys, too. They talking to the ring announcer as if they were on a Sunday afternoon stroll there at the moment.
I think if it's a draw, they're going to both feel like they lost.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting. You always know the longer Howard takes to read a match, you know it's close.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's very close on the scorecards. We have a unanimous decision.
Wow.
Judge John Wheeler gives it 96-95. Judge David Wignall gives it 96-94. Judge Anika Williams, 97-94. Your winner, blue corner, Paul Murdoch.
Hey.
Paul Murdoch.
Well, I think we'll give the judging away.
Well, we said it was close.
We said it could have gone either way.
No, definitely could have gone either way. It was a very close fight.
A couple of those rounds that we scored even, or a couple of rounds that we gave to
I think
let's talk to Jamie. Thank you, Stav.
Yeah, rounds 3 and 4
Jamie,
were the ones that were most in
you're
dispute
a great
on our
journeyman.
cards.
You've been all around Australia. A close loss, but not disgrace, but it's a bit of a habit, isn't it?
It was hard stepping up a weight. What can I say? He did really well. He's a lot stronger than what I am. And I wish him well for the future.
Maybe a return match down the track?
I think I might try and start light heavyweight, mate.
Okay, what a good performance, Connor. A big round of applause from Elizabeth, South Australia. Jamie Wallace.
Yeah, well done.
Paul Murdoch, just a quick word with you, Paul. It's gone past midnight in our city. Paul on the Sky Network. Good fight, very evenly matched. Just got home. Congratulations.
Yeah, I reckon Jamie's the hardest fighter I've fought by far. You know, a lot of people said he'd be there to be hit. He certainly wasn't. He was anywhere but there, if you ask me. I think he made me look silly a lot of the time, and I give him full credit. And I think he was, I think he was quite unlucky because it could have gone either way, if you ask me. He's a great fighter. I'd like to thank everyone coming down from Geelong and Apollo Bay. My main sponsor, John Orr and Son, Master Builders, thank you very much. Darryl, thanks for coming down. Jason and Robbie. And thanks very much to Murray Thomson and the Fighters Factory for putting on such a tremendous show. Thanks to Barry and the boys commentating, Sky Channel. Thank you.
Well done, Paul Murdoch, our main event.
First time
Howard
I've
Lee
been
on
thanked,
behalf
Scotty,
of
though,
everybody at
by a
ringside
right.
and the thousands joining us around Australia on the Sky Network. We say to protect yourself at all times, both physically and emotionally. Reach the stars, may God bless.
Through these fights, gentlemen, tonight, it's been a fantastic card put on Murray Thomson Promotions here, and the first fight, David Yude, Nick Lund. David Yude showed a lot of strength, Barry. How'd you see that? The result turned out to be the way. David Yude, just a great effort. Big, strong, tough guy from Tasmania.
Exactly. No, David Yude really showed that he's got a lot of amateur experience and won that fight with that left hook and that overhand right against Nick Lund.
And you think, sorry, Barry, but Scotty, Nick Lund, do you think the switch from kickboxing to boxing proving to be a bit too much for him, maybe? Or
I think it has. His record now has slipped to 1 win from 3 fights, but he always comes and puts on a show. He always does his best, and unfortunately tonight he came up against a very, very good opponent in David Yude, who showed a hell of a lot.
Certainly did. Well, in that second bout, Nick Lantouris, he showed a lot of skill, Barry, didn't he? Nick
He sure did. He boxed very confidently and had a clear points win over Dean Keady in very impressive style.
Yeah, and his lateral movement, we saw a more improved Nick Lantouris growing with confidence every fight, Scotty.
A much better fight tonight from Nick Lantouris. He looked like a man who knew what he was doing, knew where he was going, and knew he was going to win the fight.
Yep. No doubt about that. Well, in that third bout, Sean Bailey up against Adam Levers, a win to Adam Levers. 2 young kids coming through, Barry, 2 debutantes.
Yeah, young Sean Bailey showed a lot of heart, some good moves, but Adam Lee was just a bit all round too physically strong for him and had a better kit of punches.
Yep, certainly did. And to Scotty, Adam Levers can probably both boys can probably go further. It's just early, but he looked pretty strong tonight, didn't he?
It was. Both boys have got a big future in the game, and tonight it was Adam Levers' night, but certainly no disgrace by Sean Bailey.
Well, certainly that next bout between Brad Reed and Dean Gafer, that was a punishing affair, probably one of the most exciting first rounds we've seen in a long time, Barry.
One of the best fights I've seen for a long time, and Brad Reed, I mean, he's a bomber, but Dean Gaither really, really impressed me. I reckon he's got a huge future, Dean Gaither.
Yeah, he was the big one of the night that looks like he could go anywhere, Dean Gaither, and it's a fantastic performance, Scotty. You saw it that way?
A lot of maturity, I think, from Dean Gaither tonight. A big, big step forwards, and we're looking forward to bigger and better things from Dean.
I think we'll see it from him. That next fight, probably a bit lopsided. Simon Taliaveo from New Zealand via Western Samoa up against Costa Chondros. Taliaveo, Barry, having trouble with mouth guards and...
he should go and see his dentist and sue him or something, but very impressive. Costa Chondros just bided his time and picked him to pieces really in a couple of rounds. Yeah, Costa Chondros looks like he's got a big future.
You agree with those terms, Scotty? Costa Chondros, he looks sensational, doesn't he, whenever he comes into the ring?
He did. Taliaveo, no answer for what Chondros had to offer.
It'll be interesting to see who Chondros gets next time around, but he's someone who looks quite sensational as well. And in our final bout, Barry, Jamie Wallace and Paul Murdoch, a very even bout, could have gone either way.
Very interesting main event, like Jamie Wallace with the more experience, Paul Murdoch moving up to fight someone with that sort of experience. It was a sort of seesaw battle. The way we saw it could have gone either way. As we said, the judges might say it differently to us. Most rounds were very, very close. Yep. Paul was the stronger, the harder puncher. But, the way it appeared, Jamie did quite a bit more work, maybe with lighter punches. As we said, could have gone either way.
Yep, and Scotty, you think Paul Murdoch, he's got room for improvement, the potential, where Wallace probably keep fighting the same sort of fight, but Murdoch is the one you could look forward to a big future, do you think?
Exactly. It was a big step up tonight for Paul Murdoch. He passed the test, he came away with the fight, he will grow and benefit from that, definitely.
Exactly.
Excellent. Well, I've enjoyed tonight's boxing, gentlemen, and enjoyed working with 2 magnificent champions in you two, in Barry Michael and Scotty Brower, and Murray Thomson from Races. He knows how to do it, doesn't he?
He sure
certainly does.
Thank you very much, and that's the end of the night at Knoxville to Victoria. Thank you.